Aw, shit. Get your tea, get your popcorn, because this is gonna be a good one. It has really been a diabolical summer for the Diabolicals United. But someone sent me an email, and here's a screenshot of someone who, I guess they commented on Paris Milans' video, saying that I had uploaded a video about her. They were like, LMAO, Paris, Exoticals United just posted a vid of you, and she's showing all your old photos of when you were dark, and now you're suddenly light/caramel. Can't believe you talked all this ish about biracials, but you bleaching girl, EU got you looking crazy. So that's hilarious that people are actually calling her out. But I want to really talk about this comment that I saw from Paris. And this was under her most recent video. She says, "You worthless, hideous hybrids have been lying and whining for years, and yet black women have supported you despite your envy and deception. I'm so happy you're exposing what many of us have been saying all along, that you're no different than your degenerate, self-hating fathers. Your sick, recessive genes have you thinking you're a colonizer, when even the colonizers want absolutely nothing to do with you, to the point they don't even claim you. No identity having savages. Remember, you would cease to exist without me, so continue to bow down. You will never have a voice over here, but thank you for running the checkup this month with your tragic mulatto tears. Shout out to the chill biracials with black moms, but the rest of you descendants of Bum Quan and Beckisha can kick and swallow rocks." She wants to divide biracials with black moms and black dads so bad. Like, she's so desperately trying to divide the Exoticals. Has anyone else noticed how they have this agenda when they try to come for my channel? People like Chrissy or Paris Milan, they'll try to divide us up over here and say, well, you're not light-skinned, or, well, you're monoracial, so you're not a real Exotical. And now we've got Paris Milan saying that, oh, shout out to the other biracials that I do like, which are the biracials with black moms. I don't like the biracials that have black fathers. I'm only racist against biracials with black fathers, not the ones with the black moms. And I've noticed that a lot of unambiguous black women, Paris Milan included, from what I examined, it seems like they've been used to using light-skinned monoracials as their emotional punching bag and their stepping stool, using biracials with black moms, apparently, according to Paris. And so why would I support the image of a woman who doesn't support my image? The fact is, biracials with white moms and biracials with black moms, they can sometimes have a similar phenotype. So if you don't like somebody who looks like Danny Lay, for example, because I've seen Paris Milan do videos about Danny Lay, if Danny Lay had a black mom, I'm pretty sure a woman like Danny Lay who had a black mother, pretty sure she still wouldn't feel safe supporting a channel like Paris Milan's. Just saying. So if you think that that comment helped you out, like, oh, shout out to the ones with black moms, like, that didn't help your case. I can just hear the internalized self-hatred oozing out of this. I find it hilarious how she's talking about degenerate black fathers, and it's like, wait, isn't she married to a black man? So her own daughter would have a black father. So if you're saying that being the child of a black man makes you automatically degenerate, or if you're saying that interracial relationships equal self-hate, then wouldn't that line up with the talking point that divestors must be self-hating then? If getting with someone who's a different race means you hate yourself, then that would mean that black women can't get with guys of a different race, right? And also, I've noticed there's this talking point that if a black guy gets with somebody who's non-black, it's automatically self-hate. But then if it's a black woman who gets with a non-black man, it's not. But it's like, you can't read people's minds. You don't know why people are getting into relationships. So I find it interesting how Paris Milan, who's married to a black man, she's married to a Kang. You know how they call them Kangs? So Paris Milan, you're married to a Kang yourself, and you're over here talking about women who have black fathers. Meanwhile, your own child, if you ever had a child, your child would have a black father. And then she says that basically your white side won't accept you, or like white people don't want you. Colonizers don't want you. Okay, so if white people won't accept mixed race people, where does that place you, Paris Milan? If you think that having a drop of blackness means that you're automatically ostracized from every non-black community, well then where would that put you on the scale of the international community? Being an unambiguous black woman with no mixture at all. So do you see how her internalized anti-blackness is just coming out to the extreme? And also, I noticed that she's trying to, like when she said, "You worthless, hideous hybrids," she was trying to type it in a certain way so that it doesn't get reported by YouTube. And this is actually hilarious to me because if she were to try to report my channel, I could easily just screenshot this and report her videos and her channel for comments like this one. But do you notice the difference of name calling? Notice the exotical version of name calling versus Paris Milan's clapback. Notice the exotical clapback versus Paris's clapback. Also, I want to get into a little bit of psychoanalysis about this whole thing because in her video where she was attempting to drag exoticals and how ugly we supposedly are, Paris Milan talked about going to a professional makeup artist, her hair's done. So imagine going through all that, getting a professional makeup artist, having your hair done, you have on a whole army shirt and everything, just so you can come online to talk shit about exoticals. Also, you guys informed me that she is apparently married to a black man. So if you're already happily married to a black king, then why would you even be worried about being prettier than other women or competing with other women or, talking about Jordan Childs and who she can compete with and she can't compete with non-black Hispanic baddies? Why would you even care about that? I mean, Paris, you don't even have a dog in this fight, right? In terms of like the male gaze, like why would you even care about the male gaze, especially if you're one of those women who is more marriage centered or marriage minded? I mean, you wouldn't care about who's considered pretty in the eyes of men, right? Because your black husband would be protecting, providing, and treating you with respect. And so that wouldn't even matter, right? Also, I find it interesting how she brought up black fathers and saying how basically if you have a black father, then like he's self-hating. And I've also noticed even in like the divestment community or people that watch like Cynthia G, some of the rhetoric is that a lot of black men are very self-hating. Well, Paris, is your black husband, is he self-hating? Because I mean, are you telling me that in order for a black man to prove that he's not self-hating, that he has to marry an unambiguous dark-skinned black woman? So now you're telling me that people have to date unambiguous women in order to prove that they're not racist? So in order to prove that a black man loves himself, he has no choice but to date someone who has his exact same phenotype? And Paris Milan, you're light skinned. So your husband, if he's an unambiguous dark skinned black man, I mean, he's married to a light skinned woman right now because he's married to you. So Paris Milan, let's just assume for a moment. Let's just make a hypothesis. Let's pretend that Paris Milan's husband is a darker complexion than her. So is he a colorist? Is any dark-skinned black man that marries a woman lighter than him, does that make him a colorist? So is your husband colorist, Paris Milan? And by the way, I've noticed that Paris also has had a tendency to talk about music artists and stuff and say things like she got the same black man, as in she got the same treatment as a black woman, implying that black women get the worst treatment from men. So now it's actually making me suspicious because I didn't even know anything about like the whole relationship side of it until other people informed me. But now it's making me suspicious. Like, well, Paris, what makes you an authority and what makes you qualified to speak on other women's like relationships and who's qualified for who and who's qualified for the male gaze and what makes a black man a good father and colorist and not colorist and who can compete with what kind of baddies for what kind of man? What makes you qualified in that area? What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.